On the night of February 23, 2019, Boston throbbed with the chill of late winter. For Jassy Correa, a vibrant 23-year-old mother, it was a magical escape, a brief celebration of her existence. Jassy Correa was born in Praia, Cape Verde, in 1996. At the age of 3, she immigrated to the United States with her father. She grew up on the northern coast of Massachusetts in a loving, close-knit family. After entrusting her 2-year-old daughter, Gabriella, to her family, Jassy donned a stylish orange jumper and a denim jacket emblazoned with a striking image of crimson lips and pink wings. She was headed to Vino, a lively nightclub in the theater district, ready to dance until dawn, but she never returned home. Jassy was a passionate young woman, a dedicated waitress at Del Fresco, a dance enthusiast, and an aspiring photographer. But her life was not without its shadows. A year earlier, she had been brutally assaulted by Gabriella's father, an incident that led to his imprisonment and left her deeply traumatized. Yet that Saturday night, all that mattered was the rhythm and the light. As the club lights dimmed and the music faded into the pre-dawn chill, Jassy and her friends stepped out of the disco and onto the street. In the chaos of the early morning, a small but devastating mistake occurred. Distracted and still under the influence of champagne, Jassy mistook a passing car for the one she had arranged to pick up. A heated argument with the disgruntled driver ended with him throwing her out of the car, leaving her alone and vulnerable on the sidewalk of Tremont Street at 2:15 a.m. A stranger, not one of her friends, appeared. Surveillance cameras captured the horrifying scene. An unknown man approached Jassy as she argued with the driver. He reached out, in a gesture of feigned nobility, and pulled her away. Footage later examined by investigators showed the man's grip tightening, pulling her toward him in a subtle but clear attempt to exert control. Jassy may have realized the danger too late, as the man was seen carrying her on his back toward his car, a red 2016 Buick. They drove off. Her loved ones never saw Jassy Correa alive again. Her phone was switched off, and all calls went straight to voicemail. There was no word of Jassy, and no one had seen her since she left. On the morning of Sunday, February 26th, her father, Joaquin Correa, and her brother went to the police station and reported that their 23-year-old daughter had disappeared, triggering a frantic investigation. The first crucial piece of evidence was the man's identity in the video, Louis Coleman, a 32-year-old with a master's degree in physics. He was raised in a good family and, according to some sources, had no problems with the law. There was no information in the police database indicating that Coleman owned any car. Still, his mother, who lived in California, owned a red 2016 Buick, similar to the type in which Coleman put Jassy Correa. He lived 50 miles away in Providence, Rhode Island from the nightclub. Police arrived at his home, but the man was no longer there. Surveillance cameras inside and outside the building confirmed the worst fears of the police and Jessy's family. The drive from the nightclub to Coleman's apartment in Providence was about an hour, meaning he had stopped somewhere, as he returned to his apartment at 4:15 a.m. on Sunday, about 2 hours after putting Jassy in his car. The next day, Coleman emailed his colleagues saying he would be gone for a few more days. "Hey everyone, just letting everyone know I'm still sick and will be back in a few days." Based on what he wrote, he needed time to cover his tracks, which is what he tried to do over the next 2 days. Now we'll look at more surveillance footage that will allow us to understand what happened to Jassy after she left with Coleman. The police never released the initial recording for ethical reasons, but it showed Coleman going to his apartment with Jassy. FBI agent Thomas Zucco said that what he saw in the recording was Coleman getting out of the red car and heading towards the building carrying a body with long hair and orange pants. Zucco believes that this footage shows Coleman carrying the victim into the building where he lived. According to Zucco, the video from the building shows that at approximately 4:30 a.m., Coleman entered the building carrying a woman in his arms, then entered the elevator and went up to the 6th floor. Jassy was not moving at the time and was either unconscious or already dead on Tuesday, February 26th, the same day that Jessy's father reported her missing to the police. He was caught on camera at Walmart, and the list of items he purchased, revealed by receipts obtained by the police, indicates that he bought 3 T-Fix suits, duct tape, 2 candles, electrical tape, a mask, surgical gloves, 2 pairs of safety goggles, a respirator, an air purifier, and toilet bleach. The following day, February 27th, relatives and friends distributed flyers with Jesse's picture to passers-by. Coleman went to Walmart again, and footage recorded at 9:22 p.m. shows him driving a cart containing, once again, very distinctive items. This time, he bought a large bag and a container. On February 27th, 2019, at approximately 9:58 p.m., Coleman appeared in a video entering the apartment building with what appeared to be a large new bag beside him. The footage shows that on February 28, 2019, at 2:15 a.m., Coleman pushed the bag away from his apartment building towards the elevator outside the building, towards the parking lot, and then to his car. Coleman appeared to have difficulty lifting the bag into the trunk of his car between 2:44 a.m. and 4:02 a.m. Coleman allegedly left the building several times with cardboard boxes, garbage bags, a bottle of bleach, a computer, a black briefcase, and another small canvas bag. According to U.S. Attorney Andrew Lillen, speaking to reporters in Massachusetts, Correa has not left Coleman's apartment since the morning of February 24th. Later, on February 28, 2019, police obtained a search warrant for Coleman's apartment, where they found 2 sets of hoodies and 2 respirators. They also examined a couch with 4 large cushions, one of which was missing from its cover, in a garbage container outside the apartment. They found white garbage bags, a bag containing plastic sheeting, men's jeans with bleach stains, a belt, a white nylon hoodie, an empty baking soda can, and safety goggles. Clear tape, alcohol wrap, plastic glove bags, and an empty car air canister were found. On the afternoon of February 28, 2019, police stopped Coleman's car near Wilmington, Delaware. Officers ordered Coleman out of the vehicle and asked if anyone else was with him.
Hands up in the air! Hands away from me! Is there anybody else in the car? Yes. Yes? Where? They're in the car. Stop the truck! Whoever's in the truck! Get out of the truck! Go to the back seat now!
Some sources say Coleman replied that it was in the trunk. Officers searched Coleman's trunk and found Jesse's body wrapped in a sofa cushion cover, which was inside a black garbage bag inside a large suitcase matching one Coleman had brought to his apartment on February 7th. Experts who examined the car found cracks in the windshield in 2 places on the passenger side, giving police reason to believe the man attacked Jesse in his car. Coleman was arrested and taken to the Delaware State Police Barracks. While Coleman was there, they found a large bandage on the right side of his face. When asked about it, he replied that it was from the girl. During the forensic examination, experts proved that Jesse died from strangulation. Moreover, they found semen and DNA samples from her body that matched Coleman's. A representative for the prosecution said that Coleman's DNA was also under Jesse's fingertips. At the same time, experts were unable to determine exactly where Jesse died. It is possible that it happened in the car or in Coleman's apartment. Jesse's death was a shock to her family, and no less sad was the fact that her 2-year-old daughter had lost her mother. Some law enforcement officials visited the Correa family and promised to bring the perpetrators to justice. Some people on social media accused Correa of being alone on the street at such a late hour, and District Attorney Rachel Rule commented on this. Louis Coleman was charged with kidnapping resulting in death. Kidnapping resulting in death can carry the death penalty or life imprisonment. In November 2019, the district attorney announced they would not seek the death penalty for Coleman during the trial. The prosecution presented evidence from a video showing Coleman dragging Jesse Correa's body around his Providence apartment in the days following her disappearance. FBI agents described online searches Coleman conducted in the days after the alleged kidnapping, including questions like, "Can anyone fit in a suitcase?" and "How to pull teeth out." However, Coleman's legal team argued that the evidence presented to the prosecution was irrelevant to the charges against him. What happened the night of her disappearance? Jesse Correa and the days leading up to the discovery of her lifeless body. Accounts of what happened varied, but documents revealed harrowing details about the events and circumstances surrounding Jesse's death. The prosecution established that Coleman was at the same nightclub as Jesse and her friends when he was talking to a woman he had just met. Jesse had no suspicion that he was planning anything. They talked, danced, and exchanged phone numbers and text messages while at the club. Afterwards, the defense and prosecution presented conflicting views. The prosecution claimed that Jesse was not the aggressor and that Coleman killed her after tricking her into believing he would drive her to her friend's apartment. In contrast, Coleman's team defended their client, claiming that Jesse acted aggressively after the driver pushed her out of the Uber. During the trial, defense attorneys argued that Jesse initiated the altercation with Coleman and that the crime was a spontaneous fight, not a premeditated chase or kidnapping and murder. Coleman's lawyers attempted to downplay their client's role in the crime. In addition to alcohol, toxicology tests revealed traces of various prohibited substances in Jesse's body. In June 2022, Coleman was convicted of kidnapping resulting in death. His defense team filed a motion arguing that the evidence was insufficient for a conviction, but this did not sway the outcome of the trial. In October 2022, the court sentenced 36-year-old Louis Coleman to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole for the kidnapping and murder of Jesse Correa. The court also ordered him to pay approximately $60,000 to her family.
She did not deserve this. She went out to celebrate her birthday and never returned home.
Women should have a right to go to any nightclub and wear whatever they want to, and not worried about being kidnapped and murdered at the end of their night.
In the Cape Verdean community and law enforcement, everybody came together.
Exactly what he did, so he just get what he deserved.
Let's remind the men in our lives that violence against women isn't a woman's issue. It's a problem that men take responsibility for in their lives, in their sons' lives, and in the social lives with friends and colleagues.
Thus, the case ends with Coleman never being released from prison as a consequence of what he did to a young woman and mother of a small child, who doesn't know where her mother went. And with that, our story ends. Share your opinions on this story and whether this sentence is just or if Coleman should have been executed. I await your opinions and questions about the episode. Thank you. See you in another episode.